After Chelsea vs Man United got postponed, I don't think anyone would have thought that Villa vs Brighton would be the next exciting game. But with red cards and penalties on both ends, and Brighton getting a win at the end of the game, it was definitely a dramatic one from beginning to end. Now in lineup, Villa started in a 3-4-2-1 whereas Brighton opted for a 3-4-3, and it seemed like both managers were looking to play attacking football with only 3 players on the back line. Now although on paper Villa were in a 3-4-2-1, they didn't really progress in the game with this formation. And the person that dictated which formation Villa was in was Charlie Grant. Grant started as a right midfielder, and whenever Villa were attacking, that was the role and position that she'd pick up. But when they were not attacking, or when Brighton were attacking them, she'd often drop into a right fullback position. Now Thomas was also given a pretty similar role, but Charlie Grant was the more aggressive one of the two. Now if Brighton were carrying the ball forward, Charlie Grant would drop into a right fullback position and Thomas would drop into a left fullback position, giving Villa a back 5, and Villa would end up in a 5-2-3 formation. And if Brighton were building out the back, then Charlie Grant would hold her right mid position and Thomas would act as a left fullback, allowing them to form a 4-3-3 formation. Now Villa's plan for exploiting space was basically to send long balls over the top into the wing area. And they'd normally first play the ball in their own half using third man passing options to find space before then sending the balls long. And since Grant was the more attacking midfielder in this game, most of their attacks came from that side as she'd look to make an overlap run and allow Villa to attack in numbers, giving them an advantage on that side. And to be fair, there was a lot of space to attack on the right side as well because Brighton left quite some areas open, but at times it did feel like Villa could have attacked quicker, giving them an advantage. And in the second half, Thomas also pushed high, allowing for more passing options, which then also caused Hansen to move inside of the pitch, giving them a front 4 or a front 5. Now Brighton on the other hand used a bit of a WM formation to try and build up from the back, and they were actually quite patient at the back as well because they weren't really allowed to play out much as Villa would mark them very tightly in the centre. And I honestly don't think that Brighton's build-up play did come into action as they would have wanted it to, and you could tell that their plan was to attack from the wing, but there was no real passing patterns to look out for like there were in the Villa team. And when they were out of possession, they didn't really look to press very aggressively, they just sat back a little and waited for Villa to make mistakes before then pouncing on them. And the 3 goals that they created, I would say, came from defensive mistakes that Villa made. The goal scorers were either left unmarked or they were not properly pressured by Villa defenders, which then gave them time and space to take a shot off. Now Rachel Daly's goal for Villa came from a bit of individual brilliance from herself. She enters the box and as she makes one move towards the far post, she then cuts into the near post, creating time and space for herself to get a shot off. Now Brighton have been looking promising so far with only 1 defeat to City in the campaign, but Villa on the other hand with no wins definitely need to come up with something special in the next game.